Yeah. Is everybody having a good time?
Yeah,
Honestly, this is I want the band's feedback. What do you think of my style of interviewing? Honestly.
Relax.
Fun. Yeah, we're sitting on the couch.
This is about as easygoing as I could possibly imagine it to be. It definitely.
It does not feel pressured at all. We don't
Yeah.
feel like we're like grilled or anything.
No.
Yeah.
Like I'm more able to just talk and voice my opinions, being myself, and not being like.
Well, it's like everything.
Like, well, what do you think on this? And
Yeah.
What's that?
It's like I try to do with the magazine. It's like I try to make people present people like this is the way you guys are. Every time I see you guys out, whether it's supporting other music, whether it's performing, you guys are out there and you're having a good time. People can genuinely tell you love the music. So it's like this is the way people are going to see you when they go out to a show, whether it's here, Philly, wherever a couple of years down the road, over in Germany, etc., etc., etc. I'm not joking.
You gotta get your passport. We need to do that. We actually need to get passports.
I've actually been surprised lately on how many foreign countries seem to be getting more into the current American music scene.
M80 was just over in Europe.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. It used to be the reverse where Europe would lead the way, and
I was doing my solo project. I ended up getting a massive amount of fans in countries that I did not like.
I'm famous in Portugal.
Actually, that was one of them. India, Czechoslovakia. I was like, this is not what I expected.
and probably some countries you never even heard of because some countries are constantly. Some countries change names faster than bands do.
That probably a lot of them don't have kind of money that most people have in America. Therefore, it isn't quite as common for new and upcoming bands because it's probably a lot harder for them to find audiences and have the money to be able to play instruments.
Right.
So I think they sometimes kind of look towards other countries' music scenes to see what's going on.
Okay. Actually, one quick one going back to the technical side. I know you guys have to take off. Going back. Basically, with the exception of a guitar, almost every instrument can be duplicated either on a keyboard or on a laptop now. Okay, this is going back to the digital age we live in. What do you think as far as some people think that's the future of music and the future of even art and everything is versus versus actually learning how to play it.
There's no substitute for the real thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That may be the future, but it won't be our future.
I'll give it like
nothing as good as the.
We want to do everything as organically
respective-
and naturally as possible. If you try and duplicate everything on a keyboard or a computer, it's like the human element is lost.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's on the same every time. Because if you're pressing the same key on a keyboard, that note is always going to sound the same. Because it's just duplicating a sample. Yeah, you're not going to play it any more emotionally. You're not going to play it any differently. It's going to be the same key every single time. It's just not.
I give it credit for composition, and that's about it. If you do it, then all you're really doing is you're writing. You're not really any kind of. I don't think you should be considered an artist unless you're actually doing something that you're producing your own. So, to an extent, no, you know what I
Be a
mean.
DJ and be an artist.
Okay, that's a little bit different.
artists in your eyes, I suppose.
DJs I'm 50-50 on. I've heard a few that actually
I mean, this is coming from
are artists. I've heard others that
Daft Punk did use Joe Jones in their last album.
What?
Daft Punk used Joe Jones in their last album.
Use Daft Punk in your
Yeah, Daft Punk's cool.
I was gonna say I don't got anything against it, but I don't think it's to be taken too seriously because of the
Wow.
emotional.
Wow.
No, I'm saying I'm not talking about. I'm saying what I'm trying to say is that the way that music's being made, getting rid of the human aspect is not to be taken as seriously as I think people are starting to take it because you lose the emotional connection.
Okay.
The songs lose a lot of their feeling.
Okay. Now, do you guys do acoustic shows? I know you guys do full rock, but acoustic?
Yeah.
unplugged.
You guys are the third band in the area that I know that does actually that. Two of them I've seen that can pull off. I haven't seen guys like actually full acoustic, but two bands in the area I know do both full blown rock, full blown electric stage show, and acoustic. And they pulled it off. You guys are the only band the third band in the area that I know that do that.
Yeah.
Which I know it's it's probably difficult to. It's probably versus just focusing on one style. I'm sure it's more difficult to try and do both.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the same vein. Like I know I grew up and watching a lot because, wow, like Unplugged, like Nirvana and Alice in Chains and stuff like that's the stuff that I like to see. And I know you watched it and everything, and that to see like a lot of the
Back when MTV actually played music.
Yeah.
back then. But it's
Before it
like
became BST.
yeah.
For the Empire.
But it's like watching stuff like that, like seeing them be able to make that emotion, like it's kind of like putting a converter, like a transistor, like that raw, like explosive. Seeing them be able to just kind of like you're really good at ripping people's heart out in like a really good way, like when you sing, like it's just like
Yeah.
Really, because I thought it was kind of like when you were talking about it, I thought it was like Temple of Doom ripping something. Kalima. Kalima.
I've seen that movie recently too many times. Sapphire and FX have been ruining the hell out of that.
The little Asian kids, they have a short round.
Now, this is a final question. And I ask this is the way I always end every interview. Advice to, and this is not only to Lehigh Valley, but this is to people around the world. Advice to anybody, no matter what age they are, because you could be 50 and all of a sudden, okay, hey, I want to try music. I want to try getting into music. Advice to new bands out there. Advice to even bands that have been around for God knows how long. What advice would you give to them out there?
Be true to yourselves
Yeah.
and
Don't
to the
give up.
music.
Yeah, don't create something that's fake. Don't do it
for the money.
for the money. Do it for yourself. Do it to be true to yourself, because what really matters is how you feel, how it makes you feel.
Because if you love it, the rest all falls into place.
Yeah.
And if you really believe in what you're doing, don't let anyone else tell you that it's wrong.
Keep, and
Fight the
people,
good fight.
people who know music will be able to pick out what's real and what's fake. They'll just know it. They'll feel it. And
They'll see, like when they're performing, when you guys are performing, they'll see it in your eyes. They'll tell it by the way you move, stuff like that. So, any chance to really promote the hell out of the band here?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
The Phoenix Bridge is right now composed of the 4 best musicians that I personally know because of the fact that I got to know them not only on a musical level but on a personal level. And these are the people that are selling every ounce of their hearts and souls, putting it out for you to listen to and connect to. So here are these people, incredibly talented individuals who deserve to be heard, not just for what they're giving you, but for the way that if you hear their songs, consume their music, and hear it for yourself, you can connect with them because they are real. The thing that this band is real.
Short and sweet, we're the best goddamn band in the world.
And we have Eric Clapton.
I have to stay. I have to stay. No offense, guys. I have to stay neutral on that.
I was gonna say, you might want
But you don't have to stay neutral on the fact that Eric Clapton is
No,
on
I mean this is your chance. I always give people, authors, everybody. It's like at the end of the year.
You can leave it, Eric. It's great.
Patrick is just so modest.
This is the chance to okay, especially with people visiting the area now that we're pretty much out of the ice age of in the Northeast here. With warm weather coming, people are visiting the area. This is your chance to really get people to say, hey, look, this is the reason why, whether there's a cover charge, whether it's free to come out, why you want to really rock with us.
Come to the show, you
Come
will
and have
enjoy
fun.
it.
Come and have fun.
It's awesome. Like when you guys go on and like everybody's there, it's funny because everybody there's songs that I know your set, so I know which ones are gonna be like, oh boy, here it comes. Like they've covered Bohemian Rhapsody,
Oh,
yeah.
and that is I mean
I think I have a video clip of that.
yeah, that's you getting up there because when the one cover that if they were to come for the originals, but if they do, they pull out a Queen cover. That is something to write home about.
Or Radiohead, we just started.
Well, you start, but I'm just saying when he does the Freddie, that or Zeppelin when you do Kashmir.
We don't do Cashmere Rock. We do Whole Lot of Love.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying, like when you
Cashmere's a train wreck.
Hey, at least you don't do what a lot of bands do, like Stairway to Heaven and stuff, you know? Great songs, but overdone by bands.
yeah.
We're
I'm
not
thinking
selling
that
this
might
well.
be the next single or the next album.
It's just gonna be us like hitting our instruments as
I
hard
think
as
we should just all trade up instruments for that.
Muse did that.
I'll
play the drums.
Oh god, no, you're touching my drums.
Well, I can honestly say, you can tell by the way I've been laughing.
As Matt said.
I had a great time interviewing you guys. Honestly, it was a blast. Seriously.
Oh, we had a good time.
So, but thanks for the time. I do appreciate it. I know you guys are